Then there's Liara. I don't know if this is a retcon anymore, or because she's a sorry, or because there's so many changes and discrepancies to her personality, I can't follow them all or know what caused what. In Mass Effect 1, she's a mild-mannered, somewhat shy, cowering, intelligent, love-stricken, and courteous archaeologist who then rises to the occasion by finding her courage in being a biotic powerhouse. In Mass Effect 2, she's a revenge-seeking, angry information broker who, despite knowing about the Reapers, spends 2 years seeking petty revenge and will flay you with her mind if you get in her way, and simply can't talk to you even though she did all this for you because she's on Ilium. Ooh. In the comic book, she's some kind of violent, angst-crazy superhero for unknown reasons. I haven't read it, but that's what I've heard. And in Lair of the Shadow Broker, after her various confusing motives and defeat of the Shadow Broker, she becomes confident, mature, chilled out, and serious. Hell, she even asks us how we're doing. That's 4 pieces of media and 4 completely different personalities. Mind you, the last one does make some sense. Maybe melding with Shepard gave her MPD or something. And then we have the Vermeer survivor encounter on Horizon. Now, there's nothing wrong with them getting feisty about being with Cerberus. I mean, they are an Alliance operative. But it's the way that Shepard doesn't explain to them that they were dead, or argue with their accusation that Cerberus is working with the Collectors, which is the real issue that isn't brought up. They just sort of say it in a half-baked way.
I was out for 2 years. You've moved on with your career and your life. Why reopen old wounds?
This is the same issue for the Cerberus railroading. There's no real discussion or outburst from Shepard about what the hell happened to them, or even having the choice of joining up with Cerberus in the first place. The Vermeer survivor has first-hand knowledge of the Reapers and the Collectors, but they still can't trust Shepard.
What did they do to you?
Yes, wouldn't we all like to know? And of course, the one that no one quite catches because we're still shaking our heads over it.
We are eternal, the pinnacle of evolution and existence. Before us, you are nothing.
And then we get this little guy. Kind of hard to be considered nothing when the big bad god machine species needs organics in order to procreate, which changes them into cybernetic, not purely machines, and makes humans not nothing, but the most important organic component to their procreation as a species. Well, here's hoping Harbinger was just some crazy crackpot who had one too many Prothean smoothies. And the big one, which I still don't quite understand, which pretty much destroys the Mass Effect experience. We've got Mass Effect fields, which act as shields, which are called kinetic barriers. Now, the Codex says this.
These shields safely deflect small objects traveling at rapid velocities. This affords protection from bullets and other dangerous projectiles, but still allows the user to sit down without knocking away their chair. The shielding afforded by kinetic barriers does not protect against extremes of temperature, toxins, or radiation.
Okay, so essentially this thing only protects against physical things moving really fast. So how are the Mass Effect fields able to store an atmosphere if it only deflects fast-moving objects but can't even stop a chair? How is atmosphere and pressure working here? It also can't block heat and radiation. Remember that biotic fields are not kinetic barriers, where we see people deflect glass and flying bugs. So when Shepard's staring at the sun, well, isn't that really, really dangerous? Kinetic barriers don't protect against light, or from laser beams which emit photons, or extremes of heat, or just plain radiation. How much more extreme heat and radiation can you get from a star? Maybe it's an issue of distance? If the Normandy is at a safe distance from a star, wouldn't Shepard at least be blinding himself by staring at the star and getting so much raw solar radiation? I mean, if this was the Star Trek universe, we might be able to believe it, but when the in-game codex says otherwise, how the heck do Mass Effect fields even work now? This is a problem at the very beginning and end of the game. Can we please get a proper, clear understanding of what Mass Effect fields actually do? There are other minor inconsistencies and some big ones which I've gone over in other videos, but it's kind of clear we need someone on the job who's like the codex guru or the Mass Effect lore guy who sort of flags things in case they don't work right or sound with an established lore. Or just hire or consult with this guy and make sure it's all accurate. Mass Effect 1 gave us this sort of contemporary sci-fi realistic feel, and I'm not saying it's all perfect, but it was pretty good. Now it's just this summer blockbuster Star Trek slash Star Wars thing.